You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
I am Clint. Today's episode is brought to you by Sonos. Sonos, official sponsor of ESPN College Football. Go to Sonos.com to learn more. We're back out here after look, Daniel, we had a week, okay? We did. Had a lot of feels. We had some feels thrown out there, okay?
We weren't the only people that felt things, as is evidenced by many factors. But, our feelings are just out there in front of God and everybody. That's fine. That's the way that we like it.
We're happy with it, actually, truth be told. We're not going to change it because we're fans, which is what fans do. Fans emote ridiculously. And that's what this podcast is all about. We're for fans, by fans, not gurus or insiders. If you want to join the conversation, comment into the YouTube comments down below. Send us an email. Reach out to us on the Twitter machine. Let us know what's going on. But today, Daniel, we're going to do Dan Lanning talk. That's what we're getting after today. It's big news. Dan Lanning
around college football. That's right.
Is officially going to Oregon. He landed. He's in Eugene. He had to take them 3 planes and a ferry ride to get out there.
There was a donkey involved at one point.
More than likely
to Eugene.
There was a windmill. You had to lean at it. It was very, very weird what was going on. To get out to Eugene, it's a horrible place.
Putt golf course? Was he?
He was on a
putt golf course to get through.
He was. He already had defeated the clown once before, several times before actually. So we just moved on from that. No, Eugene's a horrible place to get to. But Dan Lanning is the head coach. We're going to talk about what they are getting, what we are losing, and how we're going to replace him on today's episode, Daniel.
Yeah, first of all, hopefully the audio issues are fixed. I don't know. Executive producer intern Michael he's fired. Look, we're done. I think he's had
the intern has had his run. Okay,
every dog has had his day, and I think his time has come to an end on the podcast. So now hiring Locked On Bulldogs podcast now,
and by hiring, let's be careful.
We should specify the pay is not great.
No.
Now, we should also specify we make fun of how hard it is to get to Eugene. Clint and I actually both used to live in the Pacific Northwest, and so we do have firsthand knowledge of this, the territory that Dan Lanning is headed to. But, that's the big news from over the weekend. Dan Lanning is out as the defensive coordinator of Georgia. I guess technically he's still in on the staff at Georgia. We'll talk about that as we move forward in the podcast. But he is in Eugene as the head coach of the Oregon Ducks. And so, Clint, let's just start there. From an Oregon perspective, from a college football perspective, we know this guy well. We have been gushing on the podcast about him for years now on Kirby's staff there down there in Athens. What are the Oregon Ducks getting? Oregon fans, welcome to the conversation. What are the Oregon Ducks that are listening to the pod, watching the pod right now? What are they getting in this guy, Dan Lanning?
First thing you're getting is a player's coach. Let me be crystal clear on what you're getting first in Dan Lanning, because this is where, for me, it starts. It starts immediately here. You're getting a coach who cares about the players and who can relate to them. The kid, I call him a kid. He's 35 years old, Daniel. Y'all realize this?
Child.
He's a child.
Yeah.
Okay. He's 35 years old. He knows how to speak to recruits. He knows how to speak to players. He loves them. He is the quintessential players coach. Now, it's really, really important. Very, very important, especially on the West Coast. Okay, y'all? There's a little bit on the SEC where you can just say, hey, shut up and get to work. Okay? All right?
Sure.
Oregon, that don't fly so much out there. Y'all, let me tell you from firsthand experience. Duty and responsibility little lower on the totem pole as it pertains to other aspects of coaching. But Dan Lanning is not. He's seen the program. He's seen what Kirby has done to be a player's coach. He has seen how it's failed in other places. He's seen the old guard kind of coming out. The new guard coming in is innovation. It's high energy. It's high excitement, and that is what Nike and that's what Knight and that's what Oregon is all about, excitement and feeling good and feeling great about each other. They're getting that in Dan Lanning. On top of that, an incredible defensive mind, which, by the way, this just in. Do you know what Oregon sucks at? Do you know what Oregon sucks at?
Well, I really believe that that's the thing, that you bring a guy like Dan Lanning in who's going to be able, again, I think when you talk about Dan Lanning, even before you talk about the defensive mind and the prowess, and obviously studying under Kirby Smart for this last Kirby Smart coaching tree, which now, I mean, listen, Alabama fans, are you still watching the podcast?
They're still here. Look at the comments. They're still here.
Now we got Mel Tucker from the Kirby Smart coaching tree, since he was a coordinator under Kirby Smart, the coach that Mel Tucker was a coordinator under. So that would be the next line of the. So you got Mel Tucker killing it at Michigan, right off the Kirby Smart.
Michigan State.
Tree. Michigan State. That's what I mean. Sorry, up in Michigan. I got Michigan on the brain for some reason. Can't think of why right now.
Freaking Badgers.
And now you got Dan Lanning headed out to Oregon, another defensive-minded coach. But what you say, I think you say first, Dan Lanning is a recruiter. And listen, what is college football? It is X's and O's, absolutely.
Sure.
But more than that, it's getting the guys on campus who can win you these games. And so you get Dan Lanning out there in Eugene. He's going to be able to pull recruits. And then you bring this defensive mindset into the Pac-12. And I feel like all of a sudden, already you're going to have a leg up. Now, Oregon's coming off of Mario Cristobal. Not an incredibly dissimilar hire. Mario, an offensive guy, former offensive lineman. But he brings this SEC mindset out to Eugene. Yep. He brings this, we're going to win in the trenches. We're going to win in the line of scrimmage. Now you bring Dan Lanning in. He's going to have a very similar view of football to Mario Cristobal, but he's going to bring that defensive flavor and intensity with him. In addition, the ability to recruit. I mean, you talk about primary recruiter on guys like Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith, Brock Vandegrift, 5-star quarterback. No, he went out and got a quarterback, 5-star kid as the primary recruiter. Now you're talking about that man being the head coach of your program. Oregon fans, you got to be thrilled with this. You got to be thrilled with this hire.
Thrilled, Daniel.
He's a better hire than Billy Napier. I promise you that.
Hands down. I'm going to tell you right now, Dan Lanning, you are a smart man. You now have, with the recruitment that you have up in the Pacific Northwest, there's not as much talent up there, but I will tell you what, dip down to California real quick. Oregon always gets a pipeline up there. Dip down to California. There's a huge amount there. You have a lockdown on the state of Oregon, which isn't a huge net, but it's still a state. Washington, all right, University of Washington, just forget about it.
Shambles. Absolute disaster.
I know Fresno State had a good year. The ex-head coach of Fresno State is now the head coach of Washington. You tell me which one you'd rather have. Okay? Dan Lanning, Fresno State. Idaho, Nevada. Like, there are states out there with a couple of guys that can come out of it. You get a couple of transcendent guys. Dan doesn't have to mess with the SEC. He has to mess with Lincoln Riley. Are you kidding me? Like, please. Bring Chip Kelly. Please.
I think he's already solved that puzzle. So, the Lincoln Riley puzzle.
Dan, good on you, man. Like, just sincerely, good on you. Couldn't be happier for you. Oregon fan, you're getting a huge one. Hey, we're going to come up after this and let you know what we are losing. How does this affect the Dogs? And then in the third segment, like we said, how we're going to replace it. But first, we'll let you know about Prize Picks. I've been telling you about Prize Picks, and if you still haven't signed up, what are you waiting for? In addition to college football action, Prize Picks makes college basketball more exciting.
I'm sorry, Glenn. Say that again. Say the last. I didn't catch the ad read. You're legally obligated.
I am legally obligated to say this next point.
Yep.
Prize Picks makes college basketball more exciting, Daniel.
Wow.
Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. It's a leader in college sports daily fantasy. It offers more college football and basketball props than anyone in the world. It offers all the star players in the Power 5 as well as mid-major players you might not have heard of. Prize Picks offers any prop you can think of And all the users right now can go over to Prize Picks, get $100 deposit match, 100% match on up to $100. But you have to use the promo code Locked On. You make 2 to 5 players over under other projections, and you can win up to 10 times any entry. Prize Picks allows for mixed sports entries. Use the award-winning app at the App Store or Google Play. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Don't hesitate to check out prizepicks.com. Use promo code Locked On. Go to the App Store and download the app today. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy.
Speaking of college basketball, Clint, Oregon fan that's here watching the show, what you may not have read in the fine print of the Dan Lanning contract, Josh Brooks, the athletic director at the University of Georgia, he actually snuck in there that as part of this exchange, Oregon's going to send Dana Altman to the University of Georgia, and we're going to send Tom Crean out to Eugene. So Oregon fan, get excited. It's positionless basketball. There's no positions in the game. There's no one that plays any positions in the game. And so it's true positionless basketball. Some nights it's basketball, less basketball. You don't even have to worry about watching.
By some, let me know. By some, he means a great majority.
So that's going to be an even swap skis. We're going to go ahead and take Dana Altman from you guys. We're going to
not a bad trade.
Give you Tom Crean. So enjoy Dan Lanning because it's now only football at your school that you care about.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. So now, look, Clint, we're obviously in good moods today. All right?
Yes, we are.
Alabama fan, jump in the comment and make fun of us some more. It truly does hurt our feelings so much. It hurts.
I am a small, minute man.
Oh, we care so deeply what you think. We do. We really do care deeply what you think. We're obviously in great moods today, which is odd because
yeah, it really is.
Because Dan Lanning is gone. Okay,
he's a great coach. We just gushed on him. Told you why Oregon. You're so lucky.
None of that was us making anything up. We've been saying this on the podcast. If you go back through the archives of the episodes, which Alabama fans would love to do on their break at Kmart.
By the way, you won't do it this week, Alabama fan. You won't do it. You won't keep it up. I bet you won't.
Okay. If you do that, you'll see that we've dreaded the day that this would happen. And yet here we are, seemingly in jovial moods. Obviously, this is a big hit for Georgia. It's a big deal. So let's talk about what Georgia is losing as Oregon is gaining in a head coach. What's Georgia losing in a defensive coordinator?
The best defensive coordinator in America, Daniel. That's what they're losing.
Plain and simple.
There's no other way to spin this.
Go look at the number. I mean, kids at what's his name? Former player. I remember when he used to play. What's his name in Wisconsin? Leonard.
Leonard. Yeah. He's the second best DC in all the land. He's the
best DC in all of college.
He is now the best. Yes, he is.
He's the only one that had a case that had a legitimate case. Hot name in coaching. That guy's going to be a head coach sometime very, very soon.
He's going to get paid.
Losing the best defensive coordinator in all of college football. Top 5 defense year after year. We talked about the draft picks. We talked about
development, taking 3 stars, making them 5 stars.
3-star, making them 9th in the Heisman voting. That's a 3-star player finishing in the top 10 in the Heisman voting. You're talking about guys like Roquan Smith, who developed into Nakobe Dean, best linebackers in all of college football. And so Georgia's losing a lot here, and yet we don't seem too upset. Clint, are we delusional? What's happening?
No, we're not delusional. Because again, King Kirby is, let me repeat one more time, King Kirby. And when he sees an opportunity, he pounces.
We're fully back, y'all. Just to be totally clear. We're fully back. Okay? It's been a great week. Hope you've had a fun week. Okay?
We're about to tell you why I'm back.
And I are back.
He's King Kirby. He saw, I don't know, a ex-head coach who doesn't do head coaching very well, but I'll be damned if that boy knows how to coach up the defense. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he just snatched him up, and
then stashed him as an analyst and then a special teams coordinator.
You just sit over and watch this video. Doesn't matter.
Why don't you just set up an office like you're going to be here for a while. I don't know. Like, that's a thing. He saw the writing on the wall. Second thing, if you don't know who Shumann is, go find out who Shu is this second, right now, this moment.
Glenn Shumann's going to be just fine.
Ooh.
Already held that co-defensive coordinator really title. Always has been kind of the heir apparent to Dan Lanning and the next one up. A preeminent recruiter in his own right, which, again, let me just go back to the beginning.
Okay.
The reason Clint and I are not concerned about what's happening in Athens is because it all runs from the top. You know, the coaching tree starts with Kirby. It doesn't – Alabama fan, sorry, but it doesn't start with Nick Saban. It starts with Kirby in Athens. And look, you might not care for the way that Kirby has managed certain aspects of the program. You might not care for the way that for the decisions that Kirby has made related to certain players or certain position groups or certain whatevers. But I promise you, National Signing Day is on Wednesday. Are you aware of this? I promise you.
You need to be.
You care for Kirby in the way that he's leading and running this program from the top down. Okay? Now, some of the decision-making, again, whatever, we could talk about it, we could debate about it. That's not what this particular episode of the podcast is about. But all of it comes from Kirby. That's the defensive scheme, all comes from Kirby. The recruiting, the ability to land these top recruits. Now, again, Oregon fan, be excited. But you want to tell me Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith, and Brock Vandegrift, primary recruiter was Dan Lanning. If it had been Glenn Shumann, where are those guys going to school, Clint?
That's right.
That's same school, same place.
Same one. Doesn't change anything. We're going to get the players. We're going to get the recruits. National Signing Day is going to come. We're going to remember who King Kirby is. This is why this pipeline that we have just built a solid foundation of 4 straight years on. Now we get rolling, continue that trajectory ongoing. Shu's going to be just fine. He's a high energy, high capacity guy, bright mind. Some even say X's and O's probably excels a great deal in, besides just recruiting. And then you get old man over here who just knows all about defense in the SEC, born and raised in his blood. Muschamp is the preeminent, has the dangly things down on the glasses, connecting around the neck. Just take those things, put them right there.
Ernest Hemingway, old man in the sea out here. He just lives and breathes defensive SEC football. All right, we're going to talk more about those two guys in particular, where Georgia goes from here, what the college football playoff looks like, what the plan is moving forward, all of those things. But first, Clint is going to let you know about On Location.
Let's talk for a minute about the kicking things up a notch for the big game. The grand stage, the Super Bowl 56 at SoFi is less than 100 days away. And On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL, is the only place to score once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl tickets and experience package to the big game. Select your exact seats and choose from elite experiences featuring an exclusive pregame celebration with college stars turned NFL legends Troy Aikman, Marcus Allen, Tim Brown, Akbar,
Bajabi Amilla,
and more. Plus accommodations at 5-star LA hotels and food by the great Wolfgang Puck. Visit onlocation.exp.com/SB6556, for more information, or search Super Bowl On Location. That's locationexp.com/SB56, or search Super Bowl On Location.
All right.
We'll let you know about Built Bar as well.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Built Bar. I forgot. I'm so excited to talk about the college football playoff and defensive coaches. Yeah. But I'm even more excited to talk to you about Built Bar. Let's be honest. You like things that taste good. You also like things that are not healthy for you. But what if I told you there was something that tasted delicious, like a candy bar, and yet was healthy and a responsible eating choice, like a protein bar, high in protein, high in fiber, low in sugar? This is Built Bar, It's the best tasting protein bar on planet Earth. They come in a wide variety of delicious flavors. All of them can be found at BuiltBar.com. If you go there right now and enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, you get 15% off your first order. That's BuiltBar.com. Enter the promo code LOCKEDON15 for 15% off your first order. You can get a single pack, a variety pack. You get multiple boxes. They come in a wide variety of flavors, a wide variety of textures. There's soft and chewy ones. There's some ones with a little bit of crunch. There's marshmallowy ones. They come in chocolate, caramel, fruit flavors. There's a million delicious ones to choose from. The lemon cheesecake is unbelievable. The double fudge brownie is always a positive choice. Go to BuiltBar.com, enter the promo code LOCKEDON15, and get 15% off your order now. All right, so, Clint, college football playoff. It's coming up. Georgia's in it. Not sure if you've heard. They're going to get blown out by Michigan. Read the comments. You'll learn all about it.
All about it.
By the way, did you see that Alabama line is down to 13.5 now?
Oh, I saw.
There's money coming in on Cincinnati.
Oh, I saw.
That's odd. Boy, it'd be a real shame if that was a close game. And, boy, that'd be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Possibly the worst playoff team ever to make the playoff. Mm-hmm. Boy, it would be – gosh, that would be embarrassing.
Now, by the way, just really quick. All y'all ready to root for my Fighting Fickles now? All y'all ready to come on over? Come on.
There's still some viewers of this podcast not ready to root for the Fighting Fickles, Clint.
They're not.
They out here. All right. So the plan moving forward, as seemed to be laid out by Kirby, is what's he's saying is a co-defensive coordinator assignment between Glenn Shumann and the aforementioned old man of the sea, Will Muschamp. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to break down. I don't know what that's going to mean in terms of on the field stuff. I don't know if it's a front seven secondary type of situation. I don't know who's going to be calling out the defenses. I don't even know if Kirby knows that at this point. Here's all that matters. Number one, Georgia has the pieces in place to continue to go out and be recruiting right now. Because right now, don't ask Dan Mullen this question because he's not aware of this. Right now is recruiting season. Okay? College football playoff is coming. There's film to be watched and all of that. But all that can happen in the Kirby copter as we are out securing yet another number one class. So it's recruiting season right now. By the way, Thursday's show going to be completely devoted to National Signing Day.
Yes, sir.
Wednesday's National Signing Day. We will have a show on Wednesday, but it'll be recorded on Tuesday night. So we won't have any of the signing day stuff on Wednesday. But Thursday's show, which we will record Wednesday after all the action is over, all of that will be National Signing Day. All of our National Signing Day coverage will be there. So check back in at the end of the week for all of that. But the pieces are in place, right? Will Muschamp's out on the road. He's recruiting. Glenn Shumann's out on the road. He's recruiting. Kirby's out there. And then as we get towards game planning, there'll be a plan in place. One of these guys will be calling the defense. I don't know who it'll be. I don't know how much confidence Kirby has in Glenn Shumann at this point. I imagine if Kirby has confidence in him, then he'll be the guy calling the defense in the Michigan game. And I imagine if Kirby's still a little bit unsettled, it might be Will Muschamp calling the defense in the Michigan game. Either way, Clint, what you have is two guys who, let's just say, are motivated to make a good impression over the next month. Should we say that? Is that fair?
I don't know if you guys understand what on-site job interview means, but this is the picture of that on-site job interview.
It means you're hammering a nail. And your boss is standing right behind you, watching you hammer that nail to see if you do it right. He's literally standing right behind. Okay, so if that's the two guys that are going to be doing this, obviously it seems as though it might be Glenn Shumann's job to lose moving forward. But who knows what Will Muschamp wants to do with his life? I don't know if that's going to be a thing long term or not, but something to watch definitely as the bowl season progresses.
Look, if I was to ask you, Daniel, what position group has Georgia and let's go Alabama, a couple of big name schools. What defensive position group have they prioritized a great deal at Georgia? Not before this coming year in which Kirby got blasted for the defensive backs and he just went out and took all them defensive backs in this cycle. But backers, the edge, the rushers, the outside backers, the inside, the Nakobe Deans, all of these type players. I forget who's coaching them up a great deal, Daniel. Who's doing
I believe that's your man, Sweatpants, Glenn Shumann himself over there.
Glenn Shumann. Now, look, I don't have any inside information on this. If I'm looking at this, yeah, he's been head coach. He's been DC. Muschamp has lost a couple of that luster. That old man in the sea is there. He is looking, I think, kind of like a Luke situation. Just be like, he's fine on the offensive line. I think Muschamp's going to be fine in a position group. And I think Glenn Shumann's going to be that guy that takes a more predominant role. And I think we're going to see a hungry linebacker core, guys.
A hungry Glenn Shumann. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's been waiting his turn. A guy that, now listen, it's all friends in that locker room. It's all camaraderie. Everybody's excited for each other.
Sure.
But if you don't think that when Mel Tucker took his buffalo and went on down the road, okay, to Colorado,
and then took that buffalo
and then took that buffalo and went on up the road to East Lansing. If you don't think that Glenn Shumann thought he should have been the one to get that promotion and to be getting all this shine and to be offered a head coaching job at Oregon right now, if you don't think there's a part of Glenn Shumann that thought that all should have been him, then you just may have never competed in a sport before. You may have never been a competitor at anything.
He's 31. He has done the graduate assistant, the student assistant. He's done the inside linebackers. Tell me if this rings a bell to anybody else that you know. In his 30s, coached inside linebackers, was the co-defensive coordinator and the inside linebackers coach at a major SEC program. Oh, that's literally the trajectory of the new Oregon head coach.
The man's just watched his future right before his eyes. And now what he needs to do is just come out and keep that train moving. I think you're going to see a hungry Glenn Shumann. I think you're going to see a group of Georgia defenders who are excited to play for a guy like Glenn Shumann. I think you're going listen, Kirby doesn't need to go off and make some splash higher, you understand, because all the pieces are already there. All the ingredients are already in the cupboard.
Be boring, Kirby. Go to the cabinet. You know this. It's the same recipe. Use the same flour, the same salt, the same butter you have in the kitchen. Don't go looking elsewhere. Don't need that grocery store list.
Muschamp his son is a backup, is a fourth string quarterback on the team. Will Muschamp is just living the dream right now. Okay,
he could be defensive backs coach, or star coach, or just outside linebacker. You could pick anything for him to coach.
I don't know if Will Muschamp has aspirations to be a head coach again or anything at some point in his life or not. But for right now, I think Will Muschamp is fine to say,
yes, sir.
I'll do all the behind the scenes work. I will coach up Glenn Shumann. And then I'll let him run off and do his thing on the field and jump up and down and hoop and holler. And that vein in Will Muschamp's neck's got to be getting tired. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what deep vein thrombosis is, but I promise you that it's related to whatever's happening in Will Muschamp's neck. I promise you.
Guaranteed.
I'm not a doctor. Just to be clear, Alabama fans, I'm not a doctor. I'm pretty sure about this.
Well, legal advice from Justin. Don't take medical advice from Daniel. Just to let you know, as we close out the episode, you talked about the aforementioned recruiting season. If you haven't noticed, Florida is ranked 78th in the nation in recruiting class.
Thank you for the update. I was going to ask. We'll just do a daily update as we move.
Daily update. That's exactly right.
People appraised of the situation down there in Florida. I saw something from our boy late kick Josh that I didn't. To be fair, didn't watch the video, but it said the tide is turning in recruiting in Florida, and it had a Florida logo, a Florida State logo, and a Miami logo. I assumed that the video went on to say Mario Cristobal is going to run circles around Mike Norvell and Billy Napier, the new coaches at the coaches at Florida and Florida State, because that's what's going to happen.
Literally.
It's tough times.
Hey, we're going to come back after this tomorrow, have another podcast. And then, like Daniel said, Wednesday, we're going to come out with one that is late in the day, talking about recruiting so that we have something for you on Thursday to digest after all the chips fall. This has been Locked On Bulldogs here on Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We'll see you guys then.
See y'all.